Hare Krishna. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Nangena Shalakaya. Chakshuru Militamina Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitmen Bhutale. Svarpakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantika. Vanham Shiguru Shiyutapadakamalam Shigurun Veshnivam Ширупам Сагарштам Сагана Рагунатам Витам Тансачвам. С дватим Савдута Парична Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Shri Radha Krishna Padasahagana Lolita Shri Vishakam Vidavcha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishapanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Sorry, I will again say it. The Mangala Charanam. I think I said it not so right. Vandeham Shiguru Shutapada Kamalam Shigurun Vaishnavamscha. Шрупам Сагаджатам Сагана Рагунатам Витам Там Садживам, Сдати Савдутам Париджада Сахитам Кришна Чайтанья Девам, Шри Рада Кришна Падасахагана Лолита Шри Вишакам Витамча. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishapana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavali Paskatya Deshatarine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Now I will again try to sing these three songs which the Vaishnavas sing in the Kartika month. Now it is already the Kartika month. Just a moment, I want to see where are they. the moment. Yes. Now it is here. Okay. First, Шри Рада Кришна Катак се става Раджа. Spoken by Shiva in the Urdhvamdaya Tantra. Munindra Vrinda Vandita Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vaktra Pankaji Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Sona Sangate Kadakari Shashima Ripakataksha Bhajana Ashoka Vrikshavari Vitana Mandapastite Pravala Pala Prabhapurangri Komale Varabhyas Purat Karibra Buddha Sampada Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajana Anantaranga Mangala Prasanga Banjura Bruvam Savipramam Sasabramam Tritantabana Patana Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratitinanda Nandane Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajana. The first three. Well, I will not read the translation now. I have read the translation in the last video, so I will not read it now again. Verses 4, 5, and 6. Tatitsu varna champaka pradipta gora vigrahe mukha prabha parasta koti sharadendu mandale vichitra chitra sancharak chakora shavalochane kadakari shashihama ripakataksha bhajana Madhumadati Pramodamana Mandite Priyanuragaranjite Kalavilasa Pandite Ananya Danya Kunjarad Kamakeli Kovide Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajana Shisha Hava Bhavati Hira Hara Bhushita Raputa Shata Kumbha Kumbha Kumbhi Kumbha Sustani Prashasta Manda Asya Chud Purna Saukya Sagare Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajanam. Verses 7 and 8. 7, 8, and 9. Mrinala vala valari taranga ranga dorlate latagra lasya lola nil lochana valokane la 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 milan mano moga mohana shrite hadakani shashihama ripakataksha bhajana Suvarna Malikanchita Trireka Kambikantage Trisutra Mangali Guna Triratna Diti Diti Salola Nila Kuntala Rasuna Gucha Gavite Hadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajana Nitamba Bimbalamba Pushpa Kalagune Prashastaratna Kinkini Kalapa Madhya Manjula Harindra Sundadantika Varamhasava Goroke Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajanam. Verses 10, 11, 12 and 10 and 11. 10, 11 and 12. Anekam, anekaman. Anekamantranaadamanj Nupuraravaskalat Samajaraja Hamsavansa Nikvanati Gura Vilola Himavalari Vidam Vicharo Chankrame Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajana Koti Vishnalok Namra Padma Charsita Himatrija Pulomaja Virinka Javara Prade Aparasiti Satpadangulinake Kadakari Shashihama Ripakataksha Bhajanam. Verses 12 and 13. Makeshvari, Kriyeshvari, Swadeshvari, Sureshvari, Triveda Bharatishvari, Pramana Shasaneshvari, Rameshvari, Sameshvari, Pramoda Kananeshvari, Vrajeshvari, Vrajadipe, Shiradike Namostute, Itimamatvatastava, Nisamya Bharanandini Karoto Santa Tanjana Ripakataksha Bhajana Bhavita Daiva Sanchita Trirupa Kamanashana Bhavita Devrajindra Sun Mangala Praveshana. The next one is Nanda Nandan Astakam, an ancient prayer by an unknown Vaishnava author which glorifies Krishna. Suchari Vaktra Sukarna Ratna Kundalam Sucharchitanga Chandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Mami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Sutikha Netra Pankajam Sikhi Sikhanda Murtajam Ananga Koti Mohanam Namami Nanda Nandanam 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 Sunasika Gramadhivam Sachandaranta Panktikam Navam Budanga Chikanam Namami Nanda Nandanam 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 Karinda Noranjita Gati Karindra Ganjita Nukula Pita Shobhanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam Namami Nanda Nandanam. These were verses, shlokas from 1 to 4. And now 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Tripangadeha sundaram nakadyuti sudakaram amulyaratna bhushanam namami nandanandanam namami nandanandanam namami nandanandanam namami nandanandanam namami nandanandanam Sukhandahanga sarabam Uro virajikastuvam Purachrivatsalancanam Namami nandanandanam Namami nandanandanam Namami nandanandanam Namami nandanandanam Namami nandanandanam Vrindavana sunaganam Vilasanugavasasam Surendra Garva Mochanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Prajampana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jagamana Pralopana Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Sri Nandanandanastakam Patitya Dayanvita Taripavati Nustaram Lavetta Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam
And Chidamudara spoken by Satyavrata Muni.
Namamishwaram Sachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Yashodabiyalukailatavamana Paramristamatyanta Tadrutyagopyo Rodantamuhurnatrayamamidanta Karambojayumana Santankanetra Mohosasakam Padririkam Gagantam Stitagram Damodaram Bhaktivedam Itigrasvalila Pirananda Kunda Svagoshani Majantam Akyapayantam Tate Shitagneshu Bhaktijidatvam Puna Prematastam Sattafradivanda Itigrasvalila Pirananda Kunda Svagoshani Majantam Akyapayantam Tadeshitagneshu Bhaktijitatvam Puna Prematastam Sattavrativanda Param Deva Moksham Na Mokshavadim Va Nachanya Vrinda Vareshatapiha Hitam Deva Purata Gopala Bala Sadame Manasya Virastam Kimana Hitam Timukam Bhujama Vyaktanila Rita Kuntala Snega Rakta Shagopya Mohos Kumvitam Bimba Rakta Garame Manasi virasta alam lakshalabha. Namo Deva Damodarananda Vishnu Prasiddha Prabhupada Jalabhimada Kripadrasti Stati Dinambadana Griha Nishamamaya Edyakshirisya Kuverat Pajabada Murtavayadva Tvayamachita Bhakti Bhajakritacha Tata Prema Bhakti Svakai Prayacha Namokshigrihamasti Damodareha Namaste Studanes Puratitidamna Tvakti Adorayata Vishwasadamna Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tuya Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tuya Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tuya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Now I will again try to read from the books, from these books, wonderful books from wonderful Vaishnavas. Jai Gaudiya Darsana, Jai Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu, Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākur Prabhupāda, Jai Śrīla Narayana Maharaj, the Guru of Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu has translated a lecture of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākur Prabhupāda in English into English, and here is the translation. Here are the translation and the explanations of Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu on the lecture Gaudiya Darsana from from His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākur Prabhupāda. I must see where I was here. So, the next paragraph has a title, the next part of the text has a title, The Primary Meaning of Brahma is Vishnu. The instrumental and ingredient causes are situated in Brahma. The word Brahma denotes Vishnu. Ishvara is not an emotion derived from the insentient material world. Brahma is omnipotent, meaning that he is independent in every respect. Sarvatantra, Svatantra. Sarvatantra, Svatantra. Independent in every respect. Sarvatantra, Svatantra. Bhagavan is not a hired gardener of our rental tenant. Therefore, he is not even bound by Prakriti. He will not come to fulfill our concocted expectations. The theoretical analysis of materialistic pleasure seekers is that Vishnu will also be bound by the fruits of karma. He will satiate our senses. I will again read this sentence, somehow I don't understand it. The theoretical analysis of materialistic pleasure seekers is that Vishnu will also be bound by the fruits of karma. He will satiate our senses. If the service of Ishvara is not accomplished by very activity, rather, if one acts for another purpose, one's activities will not be the service of truth. Instead, because of increasing lust, anger, and greed, time will be wasted in partisan bickering. Should a human's time go in vain? If one becomes intoxicated with extraneous desires and eager for these kinds of karma, if time will be squandered in activities other than Bhagavan service, then he must taste the fruit in the form of happiness and distress. This human being have so much time that he or she has spare time to waste in useless things, making this wager and gambling. Uh, yes, again, I already said this. This human have so much time that he or she has spare time to waste in useless things, making this wager and gambling his own life. Somehow this sentence is not clear to me. Does a human have so much time that he or she has spare time to waste in useless things, making this wager and gambling his own life? The next part of the text has the title Bhagavan is the source. We must make Bhagavan the center of all our activities. We will make all endeavors for the satisfaction of Bhagavan. Except for the remnants of Bhagavan and his devotees, we consider solid substances the same as stool and liquid substances the same as urine. Accepting substances other than prasada brings inconvenience and inauspiciousness. So I will again read the sentences here. Except for the remnants of Bhagavan and his devotees, we consider solid substances the same as stool and liquid substances the same as urine. According to accepting substances other than prasada brings inconvenience, brings inconvenience and inauspiciousness. I'll continue the next time further to read further. Jai Gaudiya Darsana. Jai His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvati Ṭhākura Prabhupāda. Jai Shri Prema Prayojana Prabhu. Jai Śrīla Narayana Maharaj, his Guru. Now the Gayatri book. Jai, the Gayatri book. Jai His Holiness Chinandana Swami. Jai His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhānta Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda, who is the Diksha Guru of His Holiness Sachinandana Swami. Okay, this about the sacred thread I have begun the last time. Okay, now I continue. Devotees often wonder how many single strands the Upavida should have. The Brahmanas in India, in Indian culture, usually wear 9 threads. According to some Vaishnavas, these 9 threads symbolize the 9 processes of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. Others say they refer to the 9 islands of Srinavadvipadama, and yet others say they represent the 9 stages from Shraddha to Prema, as explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Therefore, some Vaishnavas have explained these 3 ideas correspond to one another. So, these 3 ideas correspond to one another. Srila Prabhupada wore 3 times 3 threads when he was placed in Samadhi. Other Vaishnavas in the Gaudiya tradition wear 6 single threads to signify the 6 Goswamis. From this we can conclude that the exact number of threads is usually not From this we can conclude that the exact number of threads is ultimately not so important. More important is, I will again read this. So Prabhupada wore 3 times 3 threads when he was placed in Samadhi. Other Vaishnavas in the Gaudiya tradition wear 6 single threads to signify the 6 Goswamis. From this we can conclude that the exact number of threads is ultimately not so important. More important is that the Upavita is kept clean. Also, it should never be taken off until it has become too old and worn and must be changed. This is a sign of respect. So more important is that the upavita is kept clean. Also, it should never be taken off until it has become too old and worn and must be changed. This is a single sign. This is a sign of respect. While receiving a massage with oil, shaving, or performing any activity that would dirty the upavita, one can bind it around his waist. As soon as one returns to his normal activities, the thread must be restored to its original position, hanging from the left shoulder and down the right side. While using the toilet, the thread should be wrapped around the right ear. Since it is understood that all the holy things, all the tirthas, all the holy tirthas reside in the eight. Since it is understood that all the holy tirthas reside in the right ear, the thread remains pure while in that position, even when the rest of the body becomes impure. The next paragraph, the next part of the text has the title Proper Place. The ideal place to chant the Gayatri mantras is before the deities. Tulasi Devi or Śrīla Prabhupāda in the presence of one's own guru, or where other Brahmanas are chanting. The ideal place to chant the Gayatri mantras is before the deities. Tulasi Devi or Śrīla Prabhupāda in the presence of one's own guru. Tulasi Devi or Śrīla Prabhupāda in the presence of one's own guru, or where other Brahmanas are chanting. Again, just one, I will again read the sentence. The ideal place to chant the Gayatri mantras is before the deities. Tulasi Devi or Śrīla Prabhupāda in the presence of one's on Guru or where other Brahmanas are chanting. So again, is a proper place to chant the Gayatri mantras. The scriptures state in this regard. This is from, just a moment, let's see where are the notes. Notes to chapter 4. Must find the notes, just a moment. Now they are the notes, and here is a verse in translation, and in the notes is given the from what book? This is from Jahnava Smriti. So
Siddhakshatra Sotita Devatanancha Sandhya Sahasram Shatakotina Ananta Vishnu Sambhida Siddhakeshavatirtasya Devatananka Sandhya Sahasrim Satakotina Ananta Vishnu Sam.
sorry, it doesn't work so good. Sorry.
Siddhakshatreshu tirteshu devatanancha sannido sahasram shatakotinam
Anantam Vishnu Sanido. If one chants his japa in a transcendental place or a place of pilgrimage, or near the place of demigods like Lord Shiva, he receives results multiplied by 1,000,000, and if 1,000, yes, and if one chants near the deity of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, he achieves unlimited results. If one is not at the temple, one should face east during the morning and noon sandhyas and north during the evening sandhya. Each direction is favorable for a different reason. The east is favorable for the performance of devotion, the south for the performance of karma, fruitive activities, the west for the performance of jnana, mental speculation, and the north of and the north for yoga. Of course, if one is in the presence of the deity or the guru, facing them takes precedence over compass directions. Precedence over compass directions. What is this interesting word? Okay. For ceremonial purposes, the direction of the deity is often considered east. It is especially conducive to chant Gayatri while standing waist deep in a holy river, besides an ocean or on a mountain peak. The scriptures recommend that we do not chant in moving vehicles, on a bed, or with the back toward the temple, etc. The deities, the fire, holy tree, or a body of water, such water such as a river or lake. So, the scriptures recommend that we do not chant in moving vehicles, on a bed, or the back toward the temple. The deities, the fire, a, a holy name, a holy tree, or a body of water, such as a river or lake. This was about the proper place to chant the Gayatri mantras. Now, bodily posture, the next paragraph, the next part of the text. Well, maybe it's better to sing this the next time about the bodily posture. Jai the Gayatri book. Jai His Holiness Satchidananda Swami. Jai His Divine Grace Bhaichana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. Now, a place of sandalwood and roses. Jai Shrimati Govinda Devi Dasi. Govinda Dasi. Jai His Divine Grace Bhaichana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. Now, Bonnie and Garrett go to Śrīla Prabhupada, to His Divine Grace Bhaichana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada, and now already begins actually the whole book is interesting, but the part when they meet His Divine Grace Bhaichana Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupada is the most interesting part. Of course, every part of the book is interesting. Okay, so the first meeting. Let's see where I was here. Just a moment. Yes. Mukunda introduces them and leaves. They feel humbled in the Swami's presence. Bonnie sits on the small chair and Garrett sits cross-legged next to her on the floor. The Swami leans back into the rocking chair and smilingly greets them both. He looks into their souls. They feel as if he already knows everything about them. But as a formality, he asks some questions. Garrett and Bonnie, acha. This is what His Divine Grace Bacharana Ravinda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda says. Garrett and Bonnie, acha. And where are you coming from? They will later learn that acha is a word commonly used in India to express approval or understanding. From Texas, Garrett replies. From Texas, Garrett replies. We were students at the University of Texas up until about a month ago. Acha! He smiles more brightly. Students! And what you were studying? Art. Art history. Garrett began. We are in our senior year, so we've studied everything. History, English, science. But our major uh, is art. I'm also very interested in music and writing. Acha, very good. And you also? The Swami turns to Bonnie. She is awestruck and unsure of what to say, feeling she is in the presence of a great being who lives in worlds far beyond her own. Yes, she stammers, suddenly feeling very shy. But we are confused. She takes a deep breath and tries to explain. We don't feel our education has given us the breath and trees to explain. We don't feel our education has given us the answers to life's important questions. We don't know what we are here for, what we are supposed to do, and this depresses us. Acha, the Swami exclaims, looking pleasingly surprised. Garrett then begins expressing anxiety over the Vietnam War and his imminent danger of being drafted into a war he does not support. So Garrett then begins expressing anxiety over the Vietnam War and his imminent danger of being drafted into a war he does not support. He explains his reasons for this and why it is such an urgent dilemma. He says he has considered living in the United States for Canada or elsewhere if his draft induction begins. He too feels the despair of living in a meaningless society, a meaningless world. Both are searching for answers to life's greatest problems. The sufferings of the world weigh heavily on their young shoulders. Leaving them despondent and at a loss for what to do. The Swami listens patiently to the couple's fever of anxiety. Like a moon, he shines brightly, wrapping them in his comforting, peaceful glow. So, the Swami listens patiently to the couple's fever of anxieties. Like a moon, he shines brightly, wrap them in the comforting, peaceful glow. Bond describes how her search had taken her to Europe, how she'd found an answers to her questions about life's meaning, and how things had intensified recently, so much so that they had left school, so much so that they had left school in search of truth. She explains their growing desperation that this search has yielded no answers, only despair. Hearing of her trip to Europe, the Swami looks surprised. "Oh," he exclaims, "you are so young, and you have travelled so much." "Yes, I've travelled so much," Bonnie replies with a world weary sigh. "But none of it has made me happy." So, yes, I have travelled so much, but none of it has made me happy. "Ah, yes?" The sign beams a brilliant, knowing smile. "Yes, that is required." Leaning back in his rocker, he hears their anguished tales of dissatisfaction. Then, with the dignity of a high court judge, he gives his verdict. "Yes," his voice softened, filled with compassion and understanding. "You simply come to me, to my classes, morning and evening, and all problems will be solved. It's it's that simple." A panacea. His unshakable confidence gives them courage. His unshakable confidence gives them courage. They take it as their life's mission to attend his classes morning and evening. Nothing else matters. This is now the most important thing in their lives. On the way out, Garrett asks there are any books written by the Swami. Mukunda quickly produces a 3-volume set titled Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. They are the only books available. The Swami has brought them from India. Garrett purchases 2 sets, one for each of them, and they immediately begin to read. I will continue the next time with my trust to read. Somehow, usually I read much faster. I don't know what's happening somehow. Just a little bit tired maybe. Okay. Now, Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the Chaitanya Charitamrita of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. The translation in English and the purports, the explanations are from His Divine Grace by Bhaktisiddhānta Vrnda Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Swami Prabhupāda. Madhya Lila 893.
Naparayam nirvada samyucha Svasadu krityam vipudaya sapiva Yamadi janturjara gehastikala Savrishchatadva pratiyatu sadhuna.
Translation. When the gopis were overwhelmed with dissatisfaction due to the Lord Krishna's absence from the Rasa Lila, Krishna returned to them and told them, "My dear gopis, our meeting is certainly free from all material contamination. I must admit that in many lives it would be impossible for me to repay my debt to you, because you have cut off the bondage of family life just to search for me. Consequently, I am unable to repay you. Therefore, please be satisfied with your honest activities in this regard." So I think I have read this beautiful verse the last time. Now the next verse. Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, text 894.
Yadyapi Krishna Sanduraya Madhurara Durya Raja Devira Sanketan Rabadaya Madhurya.
Translation. Although Krishna's unparalleled beauty is the topmost sweetness of love of Godhead, his sweetness increases ultimately when he is in the company of the gopis. Consequently, Krishna's exchange of love with the gopis is the topmost perfection of love of Godhead. Purport. Krishna and his devotees become perfectly intimate in conjugal love of Godhead. In other mellows, the Lord and the devotees do not enjoy transcendental bliss as us perfectly. The next verse, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-6, will illustrate this point.
Tatra Shobhakta Vibhagavan Devaki Sutta Madhye Mandinam Haimanam Rakato Yata.
Translation. Although the son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all kinds of beauty. When he is among the gopis, he nonetheless his nonetheless becomes more beautiful, for he resembles a Marakata jewel surrounding by gold and other jewels. So, Charitamrita Madhya Lila 896.
Prabhu kahe satyavadi sunishchaya kripa kari kaha yadi yagaki kuhaya.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "This is certainly the limit of perfection, but please be merciful to me and speak more if there is more." Next verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 897.
Raya kahe harati puche nayana eta dinna nahi jane achaye e bhuvane.
Translation. Raghunanda replied, "Until this day I did not know anyone who within this material world who could inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service." The next verse. Next verse is Shri Charitamrita Madhya Lila N 898.
In Haramadhiradhara Prema Satya Shiromaniya Mahima Sarva Shastriti Vakane.
Translation. Among the loving affairs of the gopis, Ramananda Raya continued, Srimati Radharani's love for Sri Krishna is topmost. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly esteemed in all revealed scriptures. So, we see how very beautifully here in this verse again it is said that Srimati Radharani's love for Sri Krishna is topmost. This means Srimati Radharani is a topmost pure devotee. So here in verse Shri Charitamrita Madhya 898, this is written, and also it is written in verse 10 of Srila Dashamrita Srila Rupa Goswami. So in this way, in these two verses, there are no many verses which say things which say this, but here let's look at these two. Charitamrita Madhya 898 and verse 10 of Srila of Srila Rupa Goswami. It is in these two verses is explained that Srimati Radharani is the topmost pure devotee actually. In verse 10 of Srila Rupa Goswami, it is explained then that after Radhika, after Srimati Radhika, are the other gopis of Vrindavan, and after them already other pure devotees, but the topmost pure devotee among the other gopis and among everybody else is Srimati Radharani. Her love to Krishna is the highest love in all the worlds. It is called Madnakya Mahabhav or Unnata Rasa, and also other names are there. But this love is this love. With this love, only Srimati Radharani can love. Nobody else has this love. Nobody else loves in this way Shri Krishna. So the love of Srimati Radhika to Shri Krishna is the highest in all the worlds. Madnakya Mahabhav or Unnata Rasa. And again I will say, as maybe almost every time, that the the love of a pure devotee to Shri Krishna is described actually in Sri Shikshastaka, which was spoken from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 16th century, and in every shloka, in every verse, this love, this crying in separation from Krishna, the love of a pure devotee to Krishna is explained. In this way also Madnakya Mahabhav or Unnata Rasa, which is typical only for Srimati Radhika, which is love achieved only from Srimati Radhika. It is also described there in this way in Shri Shikshastaka, because there the love to Krishna of a pure devotee is described. For example, let's take verse 3. Trata pisunichna taror apishisna amanina manadina kirtanya sadahari. You all know this verse. So Kirtanya Sadhari, one should chant continuously the holy name of the Lord with the following humble mood. Tanat Pisunjana, one should Tanata Pisunichna Terora Pishisna Amanna Manadna. Amanna Manadna, one should not expect respect and from others, but should be ready to give all respect to others according to their respective position, or one should be ready to give all respect and all respect to every other living entity, because Krishna lives in the heart of everyone, according to the translation of Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj, and according to the translation of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Thakur, one have to respect the others according to their respective position. But, well, actually, both of these translations are right, of course. But really, Krishna lives in the heart of everyone. In this way, we should be really ready to give all respect to the others, to every other living entity, because Krishna lives in the heart of everyone. One should consider themselves lower than the straw in the street, lower than the grass. One should consider themselves. One should be more humble than. One should be not consider, but one should be more humble than a tree. Трябва да би sunčina terrorism. Sorry. Трябва да би sunčina terrorism. Amanna manadna katanya stahri. Трябва да би sunčina terrorism. Amanina manadna katanya stahri. So, see, Kirtanya Sadhari. One should chant continuously the holy names of the Lord with that humble mood which was described in the previous lines of this verse. So we see how a pure devotee thinks. A pure devotee thinks thinks everybody else to be a better devotee than him or her. But actually, it is, of course, exactly the opposite. The pure devotee is more is more perfect devotee than the others, of course. But such a person who is a pure devotee, this person, he or her, this person, he or she, this person thinks himself or herself to be more lower than everybody else. And really, this is also in Madnaki Mahabhav or Untojvala Rasa, in the love of Srimati Radhika to Shri Krishna is also like this. I mean, this way of thinking. She has also this way of thinking. Srimati Radhika, the topmost pure devotee, she has also this way of thinking. She really thinks everybody else loves Krishna more than her, because she feels so much separation. For example, when Krishna has gone away with Balaram together with Akrura, they have gone away from Vrindavan in a chariot, and in the chariot of Akrura, and of course all the gopis feel separation, and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and all the Vrajabasis, all the personalities from Vrindavan, they all, even the trees and the animals and everybody there has so much separation from Krishna and suffers so much. But Shrimati Radhika, she suffers more than the others because she is the topmost pure devotee. Her love is the highest love in all the worlds. So Shrimati Radhika thinks everybody else loves Krishna more than me. So she thinks herself that she does not love Krishna enough. And of course, she loves Krishna more than everybody else, but just she's very humble, like every. Just this is a feature of a pure devotee. These are very humble personalities, very humble persons. Now let's come to an end already.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladaladaina Hiranyakashipuksha Sitatankanakaya. Iton Rishiho Bharato Ton Rishim Ton Rishimho Ton Rishimho Bharaton Rishimho Yato Yamita Ton Rishimho Bahir Nishimho Hridayan Rishimho Rishimhamadim Sharanyam Prapade Tava Karakamalvare Nakama Puta Shrinka Dalita Hiranyakashipa Tanobringa Keshavadrita Narahari Jai Jagadish Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rapa Jaya Jagadish Hare.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladaina. Praladaladaina. Hiranyakashipu vaksha. Hiranyakashipu vaksha. Shiladankanakalaye. Shiladankanakalaye.
Hiton Rishimho Paraton Rishimho Tondrishiho paratondrishiho yato yato yamita tondrishiho yato yato yamita tondrishiho
Tava kara kamalavara nakama buddha shringa Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringa Keshavadrita
Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
Shinishima Janrishim Jaya Janrishim Hade
Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa
Shinishima Janrishim
Jaya Janrishim Hade Prahlodesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shinishima Janrishim
Jaya Janrishim Hade Prahladesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shinishima Janrishim Jaya Janrishim Hade Prahladesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Nrishim Nrishim Hade Jaya Nrishim Hade Jaya Nrishim Hade Jaya Nrishim Hade Jaya
Prahlad Nishinha Prahlad Nishinha
Prahlad Nishimha Jaya Prahlad Nishimha
Lakshmi Nrishimha Lakshmi Nrishimha
Lakshmi Nrishimha Jaya Lakshmi Nrishimha
Jagannath Jaya Jagannath
Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra
Jagannath Jaya Jagannath
Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra
Guranita Guranita
Guranita Jaya Shri Shri Gornita
Guranita Guranita
Guranita Jaya Shri Shri Gornita
Jaya Radha Madhava Radha
Gopinath Radha Govinda
Radha Shyama Radha Gopinata
Radha Madhava Shri Radha
Jaya Radha Madhava
Jaya Radha Govinda
Radha Gokulananda Radha Madhava
Radha Shyama Shri Radha
Gurudev Gurudev
Gurudev Jaya Gurudeva
Gurudev Gurudev
Gurudev Jaya Gurudeva
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya
Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Now I must again say that if I try to say something on Vedic literature, you must know this is I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm not qualified on such topics, so I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm just trying to understand those topics. Of course, one have to try to understand the Vedic literature and Vedic poetry under the guidance of teachers, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus. All of you who are Vaishnavas in Raganuga Bhakti, and especially those in Rupanuga Bhakti, you are all my gurus. I pay obeisances to you. Dandavat Pranam, Vanchakalpatarupascha, Крипаснико Превача, Патитнам Паванебил, Вишнавебил Намон Намаха. Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna.